Segment 2, the right to non-discrimination. The whole Convention on the Rights of the Child is based on the idea of non-discrimination. So what is non-discrimination? Well, discrimination means treating someone differently because of their race, gender, nationality, ethnic origin, disability, or religion. Non-discrimination means all children, no matter who they are or where they are, should have their rights protected in the same way. But many children are discriminated against. For example, there are many children around the world who have some kind of disability, but many of them don't have access to the education, care, and support they need. Another common form of discrimination is against girls. Globally, fewer girls than boys go to school, and many girls that do go to school leave school at a young age, which means these girls have less chance of leading healthy and productive lives. One of the reasons young girls are sometimes forced to leave school early is to get married. Let's look at how a community is trying to change this. This is the Amhara region in Ethiopia. Ebiste is 15 years old. She and her family live in a small village in this lush green valley. But Ebiste's life is about to change. Like many girls her age in this community, her father has arranged a marriage for her.
When I was 7 years old, I started at the Nabirgin primary school. I was doing well and finished up to grade 3. But when I got to grade 4, my parents planned to marry me off.
Ebiste's father was determined she should leave school and get married.
When girls get to a certain age, they can go off and get raped and come back with problems. That is what happens here. Because she reached a certain age, I wanted to get her married.
When my parents talked about marriage, I started crying, saying to them that I don't want to get married and drop out of school.
But change is coming to the valley. Today is market day in nearby Libanos. And an even more important gathering is taking place too. Mengistu Antenna is a local community leader who is holding a discussion about the reasons for child marriage.
Parents of a child bride may want to be related to an important family, so they offer their child to be married to a wealthy and respected family. Apart from this, in our community, traditional beliefs also play a big role in child marriage. If a girl remains single for long, the community start to insult her. So to avoid this, the parents marry them off at a young age.
Mengistu is working to change these attitudes. With the support of a government-run program to end child marriage, he brings together men, women and children from the community to discuss ways to stop this discrimination against girls.
When we raised the issue of child marriage, many of the people talked about their experiences. They talked about how they got married without knowing the dangers of child marriage. They talked about how their family influenced them to get married and how early marriage affected their life. And they talked about how their attitude to early marriage has changed. They have shared their experiences. The people have come to understand that girls have the right to be educated.
But for Ebiste, the changing attitudes had not yet reached her home.
I thought I could educate other girls' parents about child marriage. I had never expected to be married off myself.
and she knew the terrible consequences of early marriage.
The girls and boys who get married lose their chance to be educated. They're also at risk of mental health problems, other health issues and underage pregnancies. An underage girl who gives birth to a child cannot properly care for the child. Early marriage causes all these problems.
Ebiste had learnt at school that she had the right to be educated, and she knew it was actually illegal for her to be married so young. She decided to go and speak to the head teacher at her school.
I asked my friends what to do, and so we went to speak to our head teacher.
Ebiste's head teacher, Mr. Amero, was ready to help her.
I called her father and uncle to my office and talked to them.
But how would her father react?
I tried to get her married, but she reported me to her teacher. She reported me to him, and he reported me to the police. Because of that, I stopped.
His change has been remarkable.
I went this year to the Parents' Day, and the teacher gave me a prize, and my daughter a prize. I'll never forget that. It has stayed with me. On that day, I promised myself that I'll never try to marry off my daughters.
It's school holidays now in Ethiopia, but Ebiste and her friends still like to gather at school to play and talk.
All through the summer, we go house to house to teach parents who still have the old attitudes about child marriage. If you take my parents, for example, my father now understands that marrying off a child is not a good thing to do. Now, he buys us books and other material that we need for school. He has completely abandoned the idea of marrying off his children at a young age. When other girls are getting married off, they can use me as an example. I feel happy to be a role model for others. I am happy that I can inspire other young girls and that I can continue going to school.
Now she can be optimistic about her future.
I think if girls are educated, they can make a difference to their country's development. They must be given a chance to be educated, just like boys. Girls can do well, just like boys. My dream is to do well in school and contribute something to my country's development.
So you have the right, just like Ebiste, not to be discriminated against and deprived of your right to education because you're a girl, or maybe because you have a disability, or simply because you might look different. Remember, no matter who you are, you have the same rights as all other children.